Well, we have a new bike in the shed, and it is an Apollo Kosciusko. I haven't been able to find a lot of information on this bike online, but from what I have found, I think it is around mid-1980s, which means it's quite old. Scarily though, it's not as old as me. So let's do a quick once over. The first thing I noticed was the enormous street tyres on it. They're Maxxis hookworms. They're 26 by 2.5, which is just huge. It looks a little bit ridiculous on this bike, which was probably designed to have like a 1.9 at most. I just love the cantilever brakes. They're not, I don't think they're a high-end brand. They are Jangstar. So the only info I can find on the Apollo mountain bike lineup was to do with their range in the 90s, mid-90s. And at that time, the Kosciusko sat a little bit above the middle of the range for them. As a kid, I had the Apollo Aspen, and a few friends had the Alpine, which was one below that. There was a boy at school that had an Apollo Kosciusko. This was mid-90s. And we just thought he was the luckiest kid at school. The bike was completely drill worthy. It was a 21 speed 3x7. Other than the obvious geometry of this bike, it's really short in wheelbase but quite tall. The things that stood out that I thought were quite cool were the cantilever brakes, the thummy shifters, friction shifters. They're not indexed. And this is a 3x5. A very cool split stem. As you can see, there's quite a bit of surface rust. Hopefully nothing structural, but we'll find out on the trail. So these things have got a freewheel rather than a free hub. Which sound pretty good. I think what I'm going to do is just put on some off-road tyres. I've got a couple of Maxxis 2.1s in the Larson TT and a Crossmark that I'm going to put on. Just lift the saddle up a little bit. I've only got to lift it up a little bit. I'm about 190 centimetres. I'm going to put on some clipless pedals and just adjust the angle of those brake levers. We might just twist the entire bar. I'm just going to lower that stem. I've got about an inch there that I can drop that. And then I think we'll just get out there and have a crack at the trails. Check out the weight of those 26 2.5 hookworms, almost 1.5 kilograms. Maxxis tyres we're putting on 600 grams. So we've almost just stripped 2 kilos off the bike by getting those tyres off it. Fun fact, if you're lowering the stem on a cantilever bike and the stem is also used as the cantilever hanger, you're going to have to adjust your brakes. Probably don't want to take that too much higher than where it is. that's looking so much better already. Better geometry, doesn't look like quite as much like an armchair as it did before. The tyres are a much more appropriate size, and as a bonus we've stripped about 2 kilos of weight from it. Brake levers still need to come down a touch, so I'll just do that, and then next video we'll hit the trails.